trying not to expect that my process has to be like someone else's. That rejection didn't really hurt me because I was like, yeah, you're right. I did not explain what the core of the story was properly. When you've been writing almost your whole life and you're finally in a position where you could be published, that in itself is an amazing place to be in, regardless of what happens. So, I have queried almost 30 agents so far. And I have been writing and rewriting my query letter, my synopsis, writing sample. And I didn't even explain this. I really just started talking about things and don't even explain. My novel, LKZ, young adult fantasy novel. I finished it. I went through 4 drafts, and then this recent one is 5th draft, editing after beta reading and going through their feedback. I decided I was ready to query to agents. So basically send my story to these different literary agents for them to decide whether they want to represent my story or not. So I did that. I started off with 11, and as I watched more videos and I kept reworking my query, I would fix it up and then send it to other agents. Then I'm like, actually it should be written like this. I kept reworking my synopsis, my query letter, which are the top 2 things that they request: query letter, synopsis, and a writing sample. It could be, I've gotten 10 pages, 3 chapters, 30 pages, 25 pages, it varies. And the thing is, it's not that I didn't rework the first query letter, I did. I even had people give me feedback on it. And I mentioned in other videos, I'm just not good at summarizing. I don't know, I cannot look at the small details and put it into an overall big picture summary. You know, I can tell you what happens from start to beginning, but I can't really tell you the gist of the story. And so as I kept reworking and sending out different query letters, that process helped me to formulate what the story was really about. What am I trying to convey in this story? And I realized I had to take out certain things that I thought was important for someone to know when reading the story, which it is. But when I think about what the story is telling, who the important characters are, I realized I wasn't really touching upon that in those first few query letters that I wrote out. And so I think now what I have does a pretty good job of explaining what is going on in the story, like the core of it. Because there's this whole background of things happening. And in the first few query letters, I was putting that background into the foreground. When the story was this right here. Here's the background. The story is right here. And I wasn't really explaining this part. I think I was adding too much of the background because I wanted them to understand that part as well. So most of the rejections that I've gotten so far were from the first query letter I sent out. And I think one of them was from one of the newer query letters. So I'm like, okay. And one agent did give me a bit of personalized feedback about working on the query letter, which at that point I already had. She just didn't get that updated one. But when I read that, that's why that rejection didn't really hurt me, because I was like, yeah, you're right. I did not explain what the core of the story was properly. So seeing that really just affirmed what I already thought in my head. So I really appreciated that. I really appreciated seeing that And so the rejections I have gotten so far are from that first career letter. So I'm hoping maybe it's just I wasn't doing a good job of explaining what the story is in a way that they would be interested. For one of the newer query letters, one agent said they liked the materials in my submission. They just didn't feel passionate about the story to champion it. So I guess that made me feel a little better that, okay, my career letter and synopsis is getting better. But that might just be a basic form rejection they send to people. So I'm just seeing, I've reworked it and I have found more agents that I think would be interested in the story and just seeing what will happen. You know, gotta have faith. I gotta keep querying in faith and keep going. But I'm not too bummed out yet, you know? I still have a lot of hope. And I don't mind kind of sharing this. I'm not embarrassed about it because why would I be? I mean, I don't know. I think it's nice when someone shares as they're going through it than afterwards. But it's more of a learning, I don't know if it's a learning curve, but it is a process. And I am thankful for the things that I'm learning now. And I just don't see how I could have come to this conclusion if not for going through the querying process before I really saw, okay, what's working and what's not working based off of the things that the agents have said. So, or some of them, because some of them are just like basic rejection. But we'll see. I'm still waiting to hear from so many agents. And it's only been a couple of weeks, and it's only been a few days for some. I'm just very impatient. A lot of people don't even hear back for many weeks. I look at the statistics, and you would think, oh, after 2 months, it's probably a rejection. I've seen people getting full requests after like 2-3 months, several months later. Because you know, these agents, they get really backlogged. And I see people getting full requests after 2-3 months. So, you know, because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, if they take a long time to respond, it means that they're not interested. No, it could just mean that they're busy, which gives me hope again. You know, I'm not expecting everyone to respond to me within 2 days or within really a specific time frame because everyone is different. But that is hopeful to see that, like, wow. And I wonder what that person felt in those 2 months. Were they thinking, wow, this person rejected me, this person didn't like my story, just to receive a full request and then an offer of representation, you know? What was going through that person's head in those 2 months that maybe they were thinking, wow, this is the end, this is it, like, I'm not gonna get anything, and then they did. So I'm trying not to expect that my process has to be like someone else's. I'm just gonna allow the process to be as it is and just keep praying about it, keep going in faith, and just have hope and not anticipate a fail, which I don't think it will be a fail. Whether I get an agent or not, this is not a fail. This is the closest I have ever been to having a book out there, you know? And I've been wanting to have my book published since I was a kid. That's been a goal of mine since I was 6 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old. And here I am so close to it. Like, all of this is just dreams coming true, goals being achieved. Like, I can't become bitter. I don't know. I may be sad for some time, but this is just like an amazing place to be in. When you've been writing almost your whole life, and you're finally in a position where you could be published, that in itself is an amazing place to be in, regardless of what happens. Because how many people can be here? I don't know. Because I could have given up at any point in time, but I didn't. So have hope, don't give up, and just love every step that you're at. Okay? Love every step that you're at. I just wanted to share that, how it's going so far. I'm obsessed. I'm on Query Tracker multiple times a day. I don't even care. I just want to see. And then I love reading other people's comments on there about their experiences. Every time I see someone getting an offer of representation or a full request or even a partial, I smile, you know? I'm so happy for them. Because I understand how they're feeling. I'm a writer too. And I just feel so happy for them. And I'm like, yes, you go, stranger. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm gonna go and look for more agents to query and enjoy my Sunday.